Hi everybody, Paul here. As you can see, I'm on my computer, and I don't usually do computer things like this, but as you know, I'm a fan of The Late Late Show, and I've, for a while, been trying to figure things out with the logo. And I think I finally did it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up Photoshop here and show you what the deal is. What I want to show you is some secrets about the Late Late Show logo. For those of you who are fans of typography and logo and graphic design, I just want to kind of share my observations about the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson logo. I've been playing with some test designs for new fresh logos just to see if I can create something similar to a talk show logo that gives it the same feeling, something like you can feel like it's a good, solid talk show. It has to be authoritative, but fun and whimsical at the same time. So I created a couple designs, which you can see on my website, paullasco.com, in my portfolio section. Just made them for fun. So what I'd like to show you now is what I have done so far. And this is my fake talk show, which someday hopefully won't be fake, called The Never Late Show. On YouTube. The reason it's never late is because it's on YouTube. You can watch anytime. That's my thought behind the title. Anyways, that doesn't even matter. What we're talking about here is typography and the fonts used for the Late Late Show logo. As you can see, I've already basically spoiled it. The font guide in the bottom left-hand corner I made here, giving you the two typefaces I found were used for the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson logo. One of which is Rosewood STD Fill, and the other one is Freehand 521BT, which I note as modified. The original glyphs were not used in some places, and I'll show you what I mean. So what I got here is a blank thing, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson logo, which admittedly is very small, and I'm going to go teleport that over to my new untitled project, since this is how I'm going to show you the differences in the logo. We're going to stick that in the corner here. Let's make the background black for continuity's sake here. So now we have our logo, a reference, and a black background. So how I found these typefaces is pretty interesting. As I was playing around with my own logo designs, I actually was looking for a freehand script, and I have several from Google Fonts. So let's those are very close characters. Let's set everything to default here pretty much, and make that bigger. So this is my name, obviously, in Oswald Light. I usually do all caps. I think it looks very robust. That's what I did on my t-shirt design. And so what I was kind of doing was creating logos similar to the Late Late Show. So I would create something like this, just, you know, as a base. Make that smaller here, and so now we have the title of the show, The Late Late Show. Obviously, it doesn't have the word placement of the original logo, but this is the base of it. We're gonna have to break it apart a little bit, and typically you'd kind of want to do this stuff more in Illustrator than Photoshop. So, anyways, we have the Late Late Show text here in Oswald, which is the font that I use on my channel, and let's create another text layer here with Paul Lasco. Okay, so here we have a very basic typographical logo setting. Let's make that kind of fit within the width of the word show there. So we have, you can use your ruler guides to find your edges and everything, and do things that way if you want to get really precise. So we have the Late Late Show logo. What I was doing by chance was I was just searching through my fonts the other day, because I know I had a few, you know, scribble fonts here, like free-handed handwriting fonts. And as I was looking through, I went into the F's, because I thought it's freehand. And I happened to find these freehand fonts. I have Freestyle Script, French Script, Freehand 521, and Freehand 575. 521 and 575 freehands I got from Google Fonts, which means they're free. So I figured I'd give it a shot. Why not, right? When I did that, I saw something very similar. I'm going to bring our Craig Ferguson logo over here, okay? And let's zoom in a bit. I know it's a little bit pixelated, but you can see some similarities here in the typeface. Let's take a look at the width, first of all. That was the main thing that stood out. Now, the spacing isn't exact. They have their characters obviously a little bit closer, especially the W. The I, the T, and the H are pretty much on point. They probably could be brought a little bit closer. So let's go ahead and do that. Bring our character thing here. Get in here. Select that. I'm going to hold the Alt key to make a finer adjustment. So bring that a little closer, and for the W, we'll bring that in a little bit closer too. They get it pretty darn close there. Okay, so there we've got a width that's got similar spacing to the actual Late Late Show logo, and you can definitely see here, and this is just placement so we can compare here, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to resize the with Paul Lasco here, and get it kind of close to the size, and this is how you can definitely tell that these glyphs are pretty much the same. Take a look at that. Right? So, when I found that similarity, and then I noticed the O, take a look at how the O is. I'm going to make that red. Get my red pen. Alright? Here you can see definitely that the shapes up here in the Craig Ferguson logo are very similar to that over here, if not exact. Alright? And the S is also the exact same shape, exact same lack of dead space there on the upper part of the S. I don't know the technical term for that. I may be a typography geek, but I don't know all the words. I don't design fonts. I just use them. And so you can definitely see that there are... Here, look in the A as well. If you look in the A of Craig and the A of my last name, Lasco, they're the same shape. Exactly. There's obviously some spacing here that's not exact. They have the font moved a little closer, character spacing wise. But you can see that they're pretty much the same font, and that got me excited, because that means I didn't have to buy a font to recreate a part of it. So, the only way to really test to see if the font is exactly the same is to create a sentence with the same characters. So, naturally... And this is where the problem comes in. Let's do some spacing here. Alright, so that's as close as we can get that, but notice the similarities. There are virtually no differences. I think the only thing that's really different here, in the interest of fine detail, some designers do this, is they just take tiny little things and change them. So, as you can see, the dot in the I is really the only thing that changed. It's been made smaller, and it's been brought closer to the stem of the lowercase I. That's the only real difference there. Besides that, shaping of the glyphs here, everything has the exact same curvature. Okay? Spacing and the white space in the A, exact same shapes. And the G as well. I brought these a little bit too close together here, but you can see regardless, when you play with that a bit, they obviously used very specific spacing between some letters. But the C is the same, no modifications there, everything is pretty much the same for the word Craig. Let's move over now. Here we've got the word Ferguson, and these letters are a lot closer as well. So just to bring all of those generally closer, and the F as well, and you are going to notice something soon. Alright, so we've got it somewhat close. Now you can obviously see that there's a problem here. The letter F is not a match. However, if I take my black pencil here, and this is just for demonstrative purposes, this is kind of making it very quick, you can definitely tell that this was slightly modified in the favor of CBS. And I'm not getting this exact, but I'm just showing you what it takes to make this match. All you gotta do is cut that off. I left a little rounded there, that's okay. And the crossbar in the F was just moved over to the right. So if I were to take a vector of this, vectorize that F, what they would have done was dragged this right portion of the F out to the right a bit, basically just moving the crossbar over, and then all they did really was, probably with a tablet to make it very precise. Obviously, I'm using a mouse right now, so it's not going to be exact. I don't have pressure sensitivity to my advantage. But that's all they had to do, really. For that, let's move everything over here. And I'm just gonna basically just do some pixel modding here. Just some overwriting to show you basically what they would have done. I just have to find the right brushes to use. That's a bit better. That's more like what I'm looking for. And all they did was drop that down a little bit. Okay? That's just the basics of it, really. Not getting into really exact specifications here. There you go. That's what they did to the F. And now you can see one more thing here. I'll bring this over a bit. The E here, as you can see, there's no tail on the E in the original logo. And that's a simple enough modification. They would have just gotten rid of it like that. Alright? Now we have something somewhat similar to the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson logo. Everything else is pretty much the same. The R, G, U, S, O, N are unmodified. All that's been changed is the letter spacing. And so now you can see basically we have the bottom portion of the Late Late Show logo, which is this freehand font, which I found by accident. You can get it for free from the Google Fonts. And the other one, you may know of it as being the really weird, really fancy font like that. It's got all that stuff on the inside. Believe it or not, that's the Late Late Show font, but not quite. There's another variant here called Rosewood Standard Fill, okay? And that takes out all the embellishments and leaves you with the basic font, okay? No fancy crap going on. And in order for us to turn this into the Late Late Show logo, it actually doesn't take much effort. It's a matter of font size and spacing, letter spacing. We're gonna have to do a little bit something different for the word late. So let's just leave the word show here. We're gonna place this over here so we can get a similarly spaced font going on. And we're gonna bring the size down first. That's what I'd like to do, is bring the size down so we can get something close to the original logo. Now you can see that these fonts pretty much match up perfectly. And there you go. That's as close as I can really get to it without spending too much time. Once I get the letter spacing going here, you'll see how similar it is. Pretty much on point. Nothing else has really been modified. But you can definitely tell that this is pretty much the same font. Everything matches up. Here we've got the basic show, the word show, and some similar spacing. I mean, we're only just going for eyeballing it right now. In my opinion, this is definitely the font that was used, because used the What the Font tool on myfonts.com, which for a long time wasn't able to identify the typeface. And just trying it yesterday, managed to figure it out. So I was pretty pleased with that. Now it's just a matter of matching everything else up. As you can see, the L overlaps the A. So we're going to put in the word late. Bring that down to a relative size of the word late here. As you can see, the L overlaps the A, so what we have to do, so I'm going to take out the L, and we're going to need to use an effect on this. We're going to put in another layer here with the letter L, overlap this, and I'm going to use my arrows. We're going to bring the A, the T, and the E over, and we're actually going to have to bring those out a little bit. We want to leave just a couple pixels left over there. The E has to come out now. Okay, so if we use our ruler here to kind of line things up. Alright, so we're getting close. Obviously there's some spacing issues here. First we're going to group the word late, because we're going to need to reuse that. And what I'm going to do is on the L, put an outer glow that is black, 100% normal, precise, just so we get that shadowing from the L, which is over top of the A. We'll need to modify that when we resize this text. I'm going to need to bring that into place with the grouping. We're going to call that group late, move it over a bit, and you can see we're pretty darn close. And there's other fine adjustments we may have to make. Anyways, the word the, very simple. Let's just create the, resize it. We're missing some spacing in there, but we can worry about that later. And then we have one more late, so we're just going to copy that and bring it down and then resize it, because it's the same spacing, same text, same everything. And as you can see, we're getting a little bit closer to how it should be, because we're working with more pixels here. This probably needs some more space too. Probably need to just move everything over a bit. Let's bring the T over. Everything's a little bit too big. We'll move that over just a little bit, just so it fills the space of the E. So let's put the word show in place, because that's pretty much done. And we have our with Craig Ferguson. I'm going to group those because I drew. And it's not exact, but you can see it's pretty close. Since the F was modified, we can just do this, and then I'll just move this over a little bit. And that gets us kinda where we want to be. We're close enough. We know we've got the typeface, alright? You can see the eyes, the lowercase eyes here are definitely modified. They made them smaller and closer. Minor modification. So here you can see we pretty much have the Late Late Show logo. So now, let's group everything here. Our creation. We're going to separate the official logo. We're going to do this. Boom. This is a very rough draft. I did this one very quick. First time I tried it out, look, even our pixels got a little bit messed up there. That's the Late Late Show logo. I had fun recreating this. I created my own little logo for a different late show based on it, and I'm proud of that. Just the fact that I managed to find these typefaces finally. This is the secret of the Late Late Show logo, the modified letters, and the typeface names. You can get these fonts, one for free, which is the Freehand 521. You can get that from Google Fonts, and Rosewood STD Fill is available from myfonts.com. It was about $29 plus tax, so it came out to about $31, and I bought the font, and I'm happy with it. I'll use it someday for something, I'm sure. That's the secret of the Late Late Show logo. I hope you enjoyed this. If you are a fan of typography, tell me in the comments what your favorite typefaces are. Feel free to link to some of your typographical creations in the comments below. Go ahead, self-promote. I don't care. And again, thanks to Craig Ferguson for giving us so many laughs over the past 10 years on the Late Late Show. Thank you for watching me geek out over the Late Late Show logo, and I will see you next time. Take care, everybody.